Get away from them. Get away from them. I know that doesn't sound deep. I know it doesn't sound like some groundbreaking revelation or anything like that. I know. But sometimes the answer isn't another conversation. You thought it was, but it's not. Sometimes the answer isn't another chance like you always give. Sometimes the answer isn't another late night phone call trying to explain yourself. Sometimes the answer is simply this: get away from them. Because some people will ruin your life if you stay around long enough. If you stay around them long enough, they will ruin your life. That's just the truth. We don't like to say it because it feels a little bit harsh. I know that. That does feel harsh, even when I say it. Right? But we want to believe that everybody means well. We want to believe that. We want to believe that if we love people enough, if we support people enough, or sacrifice enough, that they'll eventually become healthy for us. No. Stop. Some people don't become healthy for you. They just become heavier for you, right? They become more draining and more destructive the longer they have access to you. You can feel it. Get away from them. Some of the biggest mistakes that I made in my life didn't happen because I didn't know any better. I'll be honest about that. They happened because I simply just stayed around certain people for way too long. I knew the friendship was off. You know what I mean? I knew being around them made me think smaller and it made me feel more exhausted. I knew it. But guess what I did? I stayed. And every time I stayed, guess what? Life got harder than it needed to be. Some people can delay your peace and distract you from the things that matter most in your life. That is what I had to learn. You don't realize how much somebody is affecting you because you've gotten so used to carrying them. You don't even realize it. You've gotten so used to their drama, their problems. You've gotten so used to constantly having to, recover from their interactions. Then one day you think that you're tired of life when really you're tired of managing somebody else's chaos, right? That's what you're tired of. That's different. It's not normal to constantly feel emotionally drained after dealing with somebody. That's not normal. It's not normal to always be the one fixing things and carrying the relationship. That's not normal. Sometimes your mind is tired because you've been dragging around people who were only supposed to be temporary. I remember that there were certain people that I had to get away from, and it was hard. But I had to get away from them. And it wasn't because I hated them or anything, right? They weren't horrible people. They wasn't evil people. No. But every time I was around them, I procrastinated more. Every time I was around them, I accepted things from myself that I shouldn't have accepted. That's bad. That's bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it hit me, right? Your environment can literally quietly lower your standards, and it'll do it very quietly. So I started protecting my space. I stopped being available all the time. I got away from them. And guess what happened? My life got a little bit lighter. I started to think more clearer. I became more focused. I started feeling like myself again, and it felt good. I started to realize how much of my energy had been going towards surviving certain people. I started to realize that. Some of you don't need another breakthrough. You need a little bit of distance right now. That's what you need. You need space. You need that separation, even if it's hard. You know it and I know it. Some people are not adding to your life. They're subtracting from it every single day. Every single day that you stay, they're subtracting from your life. Here's what I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn this the hard way. Not everybody deserves unlimited access to you. I had to learn that the hard way. Just because you have history with somebody, it doesn't mean that they deserve proximity to you, right? They don't deserve that proximity to you. Just because somebody is family doesn't mean that they get to keep disrupting your peace just because they're family. Some people have expiration dates in your life. That's what you got to understand. They were meant for a season, and that is it. Just a season. But because we get attached, right? We drag people into places that no longer belong because we're attached. And then we wonder why our life feels so heavy. I'm telling you, some people are going to ruin your life if you do not get away from them. They're going to normalize bad decisions and keep you distracted, and you know it. You feel it. And then years go by, you know what I'm saying? And then you realize that you've been spending your time managing their chaos instead of building your own life. Instead of building your own. I need you to get away from them. Get away from them. You know, and I know that sounds simple, but some of the most life-changing advice is very, very simple. Stop trying to save everybody. Stop trying to keep everybody comfortable. You got to stop this stuff. Stop trying to convince people to treat you right? You don't have to convince them to treat you right. Just get away from them. Distance can protect your peace and future. That's what distance can do, right? There are people that I genuinely believe would have changed the entire direction of my life if I had stayed connected to them. I genuinely believe that. I would have wasted more time and carried more stress than I needed to. What you got to realize is sometimes leaving is not quitting. It's not. Even if it feels like it, right? Sometimes leaving is wisdom. That's all it is sometimes. Sometimes leaving is self-respect because you must respect self, right? Proverbs 13 verses 20 says, walk with the wise and become wise. For a companion of fools suffers harm. A companion of fools suffers harm. It doesn't say you become a fool. It says you suffer harm. Sometimes the damage comes from simply being close to somebody who keeps choosing destruction. That's where the damage comes from. That's why you have to protect your environment. That's why you have to be careful who you give access to your time to, who you give your ears to, your heart to. You have to be careful about that. Everybody doesn't want what you want. Everybody doesn't want peace, right? Everybody doesn't want to grow, right? They don't just want, everybody don't want growth. Some people are just comfortable staying exactly where they are. And if you're not careful, if you're not careful, they'll make being stuck feel normal, right? One day you'll wake up and you'll realize that you've been living beneath what you're capable of because you kept giving your energy to people with no intention of changing. That's what you kept doing, and you made that decision. Get away from them. I'm serious. Get away from them. Love them from a distance if you have to. Pray for them. Keep on praying for them, right? Wish them well, but get your butt away from them. Your future is too expensive to keep handing pieces of yourself to people who keep costing you your peace. There are some people that you don't need another conversation with. That's hard to accept, but it's the truth. You don't need closure from them. Everybody talks about closure. You don't need no closure from them. You don't need another explanation. Like I say, you need distance. You need some room to breathe. I can honestly say that some of the best things that happened to me in my life didn't start when I met somebody new. They started when I got away from certain people. My thinking got better. My focus got better. My peace got better when I got away from them people. I always say it all the time. Sometimes the blessing isn't what enters your life. Sometimes the blessing is what finally leaves. So I need you to get away from them. Get away from them. And you know who them is. I don't even got to explain who them is. You know who them is. Stop playing. Stop playing. You're playing with your life right now. They gonna ruin your life if you don't. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just trying to warn you. Now you do what you want to do. I'm just giving you the warning, right? I know people who kept on hanging around a bad crowd. Hanging around a bad crowd, and guess what? Some of them ended up dead. Ooh. Some of them ended up in jail. Some of them ended up, wasting years and years in a bad relationship. Gotta get away. I'm yapping. But if you are having a hard time with letting go, you can check out the ebook, Letting Go When God Says So. There is a step-by-step guide to releasing with grace. You can do this. Until next time, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.